Hello there. Have you ever believed something because a celebrity said it? In this lesson, we're going to talk about a crucial topic in writing: logical fallacies. It might sound complicated, but don't worry, I'll make it easy to understand. So what exactly is a logical fallacy? Well, it's an error in reasoning or argumentation that makes the argument unsound or invalid. In other words, it's a mistaken logic that can make an argument seem convincing, even though it is actually flawed. Imagine you're trying to convince your friend to go on a roller coaster ride with you. You say, "Everyone loves roller coasters, you should come with me." Do you see the logical fallacy in this statement? The fallacy here is called appeal to popularity. Just because everyone loves roller coasters doesn't mean your friend would too. Another common fallacy is called ad hominem. This is when someone attacks the person making the argument instead of the argument itself. For example, if Jane says, "I don't believe in climate change because Kwame, the founder of the climate project, is a hypocrite," that's an ad hominem fallacy. The argument against climate change has nothing to do with whether or not Kwame is a hypocrite. Rather than attack the topic, climate change, Jane chose to attack Kwame, the founder of the climate project. Another fallacy that you might come across is called false dilemma. This is when someone presents only two options as if they are the only choices available, even though there may be more options to consider. For example, Jane says to her friend, "Either you're with us or you're against us." That's a false dilemma fallacy. It's possible to have other opinions that fall somewhere in the middle, but Jane sounded like those were her friend's only option. These types of logical fallacies all belong to different categories based on the type of error in reasoning. Some of the most common categories are fallacies of relevance. These are fallacies that occur when the argument presented is not relevant to the topic at hand. For example, the appeal to popularity fallacy we discussed earlier is a type of fallacy of relevance. Whether everyone loves the roller coaster or not is not relevant to how another person feels about it. Another category is fallacies of presumption. These are fallacies that occur when the argument assumes something to be true without providing evidence to support it. An example of this is the slippery slope fallacy, where someone argues that a particular action will inevitably lead to a series of negative consequences without providing any evidence to support this claim. Mr. Kwame argues that if students are allowed to use calculators in maths class, they will become completely reliant on technology, and eventually, they won't be able to perform even basic calculations without a calculator. This argument assumes that allowing calculator use in maths class will inevitably lead to widespread intellectual decline. It fails to consider that students might still develop problem-solving skills and critical thinking abilities despite using calculators in certain situations. This is a fallacy of presumption with no facts to back it up. In our next lesson, we will discuss other categories of logical fallacies. See you then.